Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
I met Lauren a year and a half ago, but it was 2 months ago that I decided that Lauren was going to be my coach. And boy, that was not a mistake.
Dr. Lauren gives me permission to be me. I have very lofty
Thankful
dreams.
to have Lauren in my life. If you are considering at all working with him, do it. It'll be worth it. He's amazing.
Able to share with me insights, wisdom, information right there on the spot that just blew me away about my work and about my purpose and mission.
Hours. Let me tell you, I was on a total platform that I did not plan to be on. I had met some amazing people that I never would have met that was just, oh my gosh, life-changing, life-changing. Shamelessly displaying my state of mind, but you walk right past me, pretending like you don't see. What's your
I'm on one today. One more. There it is. Wake up, wake up, wake up. And welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. It's that week. It's that day. It's Meet the Experts. They are back from all over the world, too. I see badass Jamie Lane back there. I see D. Grant Smith back there. Dominique Rivera back there. And we have a surprise new expert was here. I don't know where he went, but I'm sure he'll be back. I'll tell you who that is when and if he returns. But we're here regardless, even if it was just me and you. That is fulfilling that greatest promise that is available to all, the one that guarantees that when two or more of us comes together, hey, you know what's going to happen. Everything that's meant to happen, right? Because we are coming together because we have a mindset of service, a heart set of service, and we just want to pour into each other and be poured into. Can I get an amen? I'll kick them off. There's one on the screen. Drop one in the comments, as well as who you are and where you're viewing from. So how's everything going for you guys? Today is Wednesday, hump day. And boy, I don't know why, but since I woke up this morning, I was like, it's not Friday yet. I don't know why. It's just probably because I have a packed schedule for the next 3 days. But hey, that's great news, right? So today the experts are here, and we're going to get them in. We're going to have a lot of fun today. It's an immersive experience, so we want you to be interactive. Any questions or comments, put them in there, and we're going to get to them today. Get ready, get set. Here we go. Here come the experts. Ooh-wee. Who's singing? Jamie. Oh, and look at she had to sit in. You should have been in front of some Grecian temple or something.
I was on my way there. I got lost. I'm on my way to the temple Asbestos right now, but I'm totally lost. But it's all right.
You really are on your way to a temple?
Yeah, Asbestos temple.
I know.
I slept at a mini mart because it's 102 degrees to get some juice because I'm melting.
Wait, you slept with who?
Nobody.
I thought you said I slept with a man in the market.
I have higher standards than that. I mean, at least take me to dinner first. Jesus.
What goes on in Greece stays in Greece. Hey, Dominique.
Hi.
The Oracle
Listen,
of
if
Apollo.
something happened in Greece, I would need like 15 husbands here.
How do you like it so far?
I need a harem of men from Greece to come back with me. I'm just saying.
Why are they hot?
They're super hot, super masculine.
That's what I heard.
Very masculine men. It's very interesting. The whole vibe here is very interesting.
Well, look at history. Those Greeks. I love me a good Greek movie. I'm just saying. Look. So let's say hello to the rest of the experts. I'm gonna get on the horn for this surprise new person. Badass Jamie Lane. Who'd you beat up this week?
No one.
Who'd you want to beat up this week?
Oh man, I don't like beating people up. I use words.
That's what I mean, verbally, not physically.
I don't know if Eric was here. I'm sure he would tell you something.
Where is Eric?
Oh, Brandon's in cooking school. He took a couple summer school classes, STEM and robotics and culinary. So he's at culinary school. Eric takes him.
Look at the look on his face.
Is he trying to pretend he's frozen?
I'm frozen.
If he's pretending, he's doing a great job.
He is. Guys, I can't be on here too long, though, because I have no way to recharge my phone.
Oh, dang.
It's good to see you, Dominique.
Good to see you, Grant. Someone going to hang for like 5 more minutes, and then I'm out.
Well, I like your earrings. Those are fucking awesome.
I found them. Someone left them on my car.
Are you serious?
Awesome.
Yeah, they were there on my car a whole day and a half. I waited for the owner to come back and get them, thinking maybe they just accidentally placed them. Right. They never came back, so then they became mine.
Hell yeah, they did.
Did you sterilize them first?
Of course.
Oh.
With the power of Christ.
Oh my God. I don't know. I'm scared to laugh at that, but okay. I'll get struck by lightning last because I laughed last. So, D. Grant Smith, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. I'm so glad to see you guys. Dominic, did I hear you say you only have 5 minutes?
Yes, because TSA took my battery. They took my portable battery, and I need my phone so that I could use it as a map. So I can't kill my battery.
Oh wow! Remember phones when you could change batteries?
Yes, but
Remember
I mean,
that? I
Can I
know.
see your outfit, Dominique?
hold on.
Uh-oh.
I love her style. Yeah, girl. It's so beautiful. You look pretty.
So, Dominic, before you leave, where all have you been in the last few?
Okay, so I'm in Athens right now. I went to the Acropolis. I went to the Temple of Nike. I have been to several ruins. I plan on going to see an active temple of Aphrodite. So that means people are still worshiping the goddess of Aphrodite.
Nice.
And then in 2 days, I will make my way to another town called Delphi. That is where the Apollo temple is at. And then I will make my way to a very far part up in Greece and hopefully visit one more island. We're supposed to be the most homeopathic, the only homeopathic university in the world. So I'm going to go visit this island with this homeopathic university, and it's supposed to be excellent energy. I'll be headed to Spain in a few days after that, then back to Bucharest, then back home, then Colombia, and then by December I will pick where I want to live in the world.
Holy
Wow. Oh, you're planning on relocating somewhere other than the state?
I'm ready.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
San Diego.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
girl.
Did you say though? I want to go back to college. Did you say there's a homeopathic university?
Yeah, homeopathic. So they basically are using like herbs and things, and it's the only university in the entire world that teaches this, which is here in Greece. Go figure. I mean, it makes the most sense, honestly, if you think about it.
Wow. Well, congratulations on you're so blessed. Can't wait till you get home and we'll have to do a show. And you guys get over and check out Divine Encounters. Are you still doing your show live while you're on the road?
No, because that would be 3 a.m. here. So I have been doing it pre-recording and then uploading it.
Oh, cool.
Jamie's magazine article is in. That will be out for this month coming up. Lauren's is getting delivered in the next few days. I was sitting with a bunch of beautiful geriatric Grecian men today who taught me a game called table, and there was 8 of us, and I'm just astounded that you don't need to know what anyone is saying to be able to feel the room. And I've been sitting at tables where I have no idea people are saying and just enjoying my.
Tell us about when you ran into your future husband in Bucharest, the little boy who we met when we first went over in May, and you ran into him arbitrarily on the street. What was that like?
Okay, so when we came here for the Power Week Symposium, not here, Bucharest. We went to Bucharest for the Power Week Symposium. We went to the Ferentari, this place, and there was this little boy who was just super enamored with me. He's probably like 8 or 9 years old, beautiful little spirit, giving me lots of hugs and kisses. And then he gave me this little keychain that was a heart with a little flashlight at the end. And he was like,
I remember.
when I get big, I'm going to come to the United States and I'm going to find you. So now here I am walking around Bucharest, and I have fit some miles on these sneakers. Let me tell y'all, I've lost like 4 pounds just walking so far, and I've only been gone 2 weeks. And I just see this little boy stop, and he's just looking at me like a deer in the headlights. So I'm like, okay. So I stop and I look, and then I realized it was the same little boy, and I pointed at him and I went, "It's me." And then he just fully sprinted towards me and grabbed me and gave me the biggest hug. And this hug was like 2 minutes long. He hugged my 7 incarnations ahead of me. That's how deeply he hugged me. And of course, he doesn't speak any English. He didn't know how to type, I guess, because he's too young. So we just hugged, and I just said, "I see you," and he went, "I see you," and that was it.
I just want to say, I actually tried to tell a little of that story yesterday. I was on a 2-hour and 45-minute interview with the Los Angeles Tribune about our trip to Romania. And I told your story as a most recent, something that's happened well after we were there. That's just life changing. And then I told this little story of Daniel. Remember the very first day at the domestic violence center, the little 3-year-old who thought he could rub the brown off my skin.
Yeah.
And then when he found out he couldn't, he just grabbed me and kissed me. And it was absolutely life changing. I was telling them that if God only allows us to have, say, 10 divine memories from this life on this earth, I certainly hope that that moment with Daniel is one of the 10. It was that beautiful. So, and it kind of reminded me of what you were posting about running into this other young man. So it's just, so don't be surprised when you're 80 years old, some Romanian hunk comes running up to you saying, well, you ready to go?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you found me, Sonny. Right, right. That is really incredible. Well, we don't want to run your battery out and then you get lost, because Lord knows.
But it was nice seeing you guys. Maybe
Good to see you too.
I'll be home by the time you guys do the next one, and go forward and encounter more, because I know I sure am.
Of course. Thank you for dropping in. Have fun at the temple.
Bye, girl.
Bye. Aw, man, I'm jealous. Who's jealous?
I've been there.
Have you been to Greece?
Oh, yeah.
You see how she said that, D. Grant? Oh,
I just mean, like, I did all my traveling. I've been everywhere. Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Germany, Ireland, places I'm still remembering today. Yeah, I've done.
Now, was that in the military?
Oh, some of it was. A lot of it was by my own choosing, because I was so centralized, stationed in Germany. It was so easy to get to all the countries. And then being in Kuwait, Afghanistan, it was easy to get to the Middle East areas. So it was awesome. Greece men love American women.
Just American women?
Well, I mean, I'm an American woman, so I can only speak for me, but Dominic, they seem to love her too.
Was Eric there?
Oh, no, this was years ago.
Oh, I want
was
to talk to
single.
a guy that's been there. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm already married. D. Grant, have you traveled abroad?
Yeah. Not as much as Jamie and Dominique have.
No,
but,
none of us have. But where's your favorite place that you've visited?
Well, my favorite place in the universe is the beach. So Belize was pretty awesome. You get there and they're like, you land in Belize City, and that's kind of like Mexico City, so I don't really count it. You get on this little commuter plane, you fly across this little portion of the ocean to the island of San Pedro, and then you get off the plane there, and everybody's driving around in miniature or little golf carts, but they look like they're decorated to look like other vehicles. So we drove in like not decorated, it's like customized to look like it's not a golf cart, you know? It's like a Corvette or it's like a Hummer or something like that.
Cool.
So we got off the plane, and everybody's like got big eyes and bright smiles, and they're all like, "Welcome to paradise." And it was like paradise for about 3 days. It was awesome. So aside from that place, I love visiting London and all of the areas of England that we were there for like 10 days. And I was thinking about it the other day because I'm going to go back. One of my best friends lives in Wales, and I want to go visit him and his wife and his daughter. And when I go back, I'm going to do what I didn't get to do. I loved my trip to England but what I didn't get to do before that I really wanted to do was I wanted to just go to a British pub and sit there and order a pint and listen to British dudes and women tell stories about stuff. And just be an observer of everything. I figured that would be, if I don't interact with them and have conversations, I'm still the observer of all these really fascinating stories. And I really want to do that.
That's how Ireland was. Like, you know how in the United States, you don't sit at other people's tables? Like, we're real ignorant that way, or we don't really like people. So, or community. So anyway, in Ireland, it's not like that. You just sit wherever the fuck you want to sit. Everyone, I mean, it's exactly how you imagine too. It's cobblestone bars, and this dude's like playing, and everyone's drinking, and everyone's having a good time, and it's just really lively and communicative. But the bars close at midnight because our Irish would stay up all fucking night and drink, so they have to put a cap on it. But Yeah, those were good times.
Wow. Well, if you could pick one place to go that you haven't been, real quick, where do you think that would be and why?
Bahamas.
Bahamas. That's an easy one.
You said pick one
Okay.
place.
Okay.
You didn't
Why
say, like,
Bahamas?
pick one place that's difficult that nobody else would think of.
Well, no. Okay. You're right. Bahamas. Why Bahamas?
So you remember when the song Kokomo came out when in like the 80s? that planted the seed in my head of like just going to the Caribbean. And I figure if I go to the
Kokomo.
Bahamas, I can just once I'm in the Bahamas, I'll go everywhere. I'll go to Jamaica. I'll just do a little tour and hang out with a bunch of beach people and spend
Oh, that's right.
spend time on the ocean and
Makes
have a
sense.
great time.
Okay, Jamie, what about you?
I would probably, well, it'd have to be a cannabis place, which I did a lot of research a few years ago.
Colombia.
Well, Portugal seemed to be the most lenient, although not with weed itself. So for me, it would have to be a place that was like Portugal weather, as cheap as Portugal, everything about Portugal, plus weed.
Jamaica.
Eh.
I heard it's dangerous there.
Parts of and I don't know if I would be safe there.
Yeah, well,
in some parts. So Portugal, I think, might do me some good with an olive tree, or I just picture myself like going down a hill to the market with Eric, and we're just gonna go get a coffee. I've been to Spain. I don't know. They're really weird about weed. Weed's a weird thing. So let's just take weed out of the equation.
Right.
I mean, I'm gonna do it anyway. So Greece, I've already been there, but they're super weird about weed. But I don't know, probably Portugal because of the weather and how inexpensive it is to live there, and it's by water and mountains and lush, and it doesn't get cold. And I think Portugal.
Did you find it interesting that Dominique said that she wanted to move abroad? Live?
Oh,
a lot of people are doing that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I was going to a few years ago, and then the world exploded. But
more and more people are choosing.
It's cheaper.
Dual citizenship.
Yeah. You can live in a lot of countries for less than $3,000 a month with food, activities, and have money left over. Everything.
I know. Amy Joy stopped by. She was here in Chicago last week and surprised me and came over, and we all went to lunch. And she says that's what she loves about living in Mexico.
Yeah.
She can just do so much more to help people and, opportunities for her family. So I get it. So listen, today I wanted to talk about a couple, just pull them out of the hat kind of topics. But this one, I really do want to talk about because we had a situation yesterday with the television network, E360 and Trajectory. One of our show hosts has a show. She has 4 of them. She's about to have her own network. And one of her she has 4 shows. And one of those show hosts that she has been a friend of hers for I think 15 years, she said. And she asked him to make one little tweak to his thumbnail. She had done the thumbnail and everything. And this guy shocked us all. So I want to talk about ego. Because nobody saw this coming. I hadn't had very much interaction with him. Aaron, the network president, had a lot more than me. And of course, this other person, they'd been friends for all these years. So I went in first, because it's on Trajectory. And then it went to E360 because it was just, let me just say this. I was so shocked because I know a lot of people with big personalities, big egos, but I'd never seen someone use it like a weapon like this. Now we hear about it with narcissism and this, that, and the other, but it was so delusional. The things that the ego was throwing out there as to justify this person's actions, they weren't even real. My worldwide following, and I have the biggest numbers of any show, and we're like, where is he getting this data? And it turned on me, then turned on Aaron, then turned on his friend of 15 years. Wouldn't answer her. It was just amazing. So I want to ask you guys, have what exactly what is ego? I mean, why do I, I mean, somebody take it. I thought I knew and had a pretty good grasp of it. We talk about it all the time, but to be in there and experiencing it, it was like a transformer just in there, just trying to chop up everything. And the person did not realize that he was destroying 3 years of everything he had built just in one day. And so let's go here. Do you think, I mean, is ego more destructive than productive? Or can it be productive as well? Can you use ego? Can you have ego in a positive way?
Well, I don't. Part of that might have been ego, but a lot of that is the id, in my opinion. He wasn't leading with ego so much as, I mean, it is ego. It's just this weird relationship that we have with ourselves. And wow, what an interesting subject, because
it kind of broke my heart, to tell you the truth.
Well, yeah, I think, well, this goes back to one of my radical
Not
thoughts.
because of him, but because of how he used it against his dear friend. How can you just chop down a 15-year-old tree that you've been nurturing like it's nothing? I was more worried for her. She says she's okay, but so go ahead.
I actually don't remember what I was saying. Go ahead, D. Grant.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Take a hit. It'll come back. She's looking up something.
I think that I'm with Jamie on this. I don't think this is necessarily an ego thing. I think that what it sounds like to me is that there's a lot of stuff going on in this person's life behind the scenes that has them so like reactive, like on an exponential level to whatever it is that's going on. And I would be curious if like there's not some other like very, very big issues going on with that person, like maybe in their relationships, maybe in one of their closest relationships, where like they feel like they're, you know, maybe being ridiculed or turned on or having to meet all these demands in order to just move forward. And so like, and maybe there's somebody that like doesn't express themselves, and all that stuff's been building up and building up and building up. And, you know, if you take something that's carbonated, you can only shake that so much before, without even turning the lid, before it just explodes. And that's kind of what this sounds like.
That's a great
It
analogy.
sounds like a very reactive situation that now probably has led to a ton of regret if they have enough, you know, ability to be self-reflective at all. But, you know, all of the destruction that happened, like you said, 3 years of work down the drain, because, you know, and then the relationship destruction, and to me that's a much deeper issue than just having like a big ego and thinking you're all that. Because if you have a big ego and you're thinking you're all that, like that's how you're showing up all the time. That's not just a one-time event. That's my takeaway on it.
Well, and everyone that knew this person far better than I stated that, yeah, well, we knew and we've been dealing with it, but it was nothing like this. It just all came to a head. But Jamie, you were saying something about id. What made you say that? Talk about that. You said you think it's more id.
Well, I love talking about these things. There's a lot to it, so I just want to make sure I don't
That's what I
go off on a tangent. So I want to make sure. So if we go by id, superego, and ego, if we go by that, and that's just what most people are familiar with, so I'm going to.
That's Freud, right?
Yeah. Yep. So the id is our impulses, right? Our primitive things, instincts, things that tell us whatever. And then our superego to me is like that immature part, right? Like, what's a word I'm looking for? Anyway, and then the ego is supposed to be, which is the issue I have with the superego and the ego. And the ego is supposed to be the one that keeps you in check and shit like that. Now I'd have to read more to really drive my point. If you take those three things or whatever, we're not connected to ourselves. We just aren't. We aren't connected to nature. We aren't connected to ourselves. We don't know who we are. And that dude going off like that, he has no idea what is going on right now. He has, I mean, man, I had a thought in my mind and I can't thought. Anyway, it's just, that's so traumatic. What a traumatic response. And it's interesting to me. And I wish I had more details just for my own.
Well, I got a couple I can throw in there for you.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Okay, because here's my experience, and it was all texting with this person. Well, first we had spoken. I called because I don't like to text important things. I don't leave it to AI. And boy, it did not end well. Because it caught me so off guard. Like, dude, for real, we're talking about a thumbnail. And that's our decision here. You know, we know what the AI and the analytics and all this stuff are looking for. And we are about to, make a public offering, so to speak. And we want all the ducks in line. And this is one of them. So, I mean, what I noticed, which was very interesting to me, was like he said, well, we went straight to the juggler. Well, I'm not going anywhere unless my best friend, this person, my boss, the same person, tells me that I'm not welcome here. No one said you were. It was like, where's that coming from? And then in the very next post, he said, or text, well, I'm just leaving. It just one time in one, he would say one thing and then he would contradict himself in the next one. Then it went into, just acute sarcasm, He
was in an episode of some sort.
I'm not impressed with any of you and da 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 da. And we're like, what are you talking about? I'll just go on tomorrow and tell the world what I think about this network and this person, his own friend, all these things after he had just said, well, if I hear it from my dear friend, my bestie, it just kept getting worse. Like, just cutting the heads off of everything in the past. And all I could come up with is that this person is dealing with a lot of deep-seated anger. He's angry at something and clearly can't address it because he's taking it out on things that have nothing to do with it. Self-sabotage. He really in it. And I'll tell you too, another thing that I got from it was it reminded me when I was that person, because I would let anger destroy oodles of work just in an instant. And that's what I told this other person, the woman. I said, I've done this and I guarantee you already he's regretting. Because our decisions lead us to two R's, one or the other. You're either going to rejoice over your decision or you're going to regret that decision. And so it was just, I'm shocked that I'm even talking about it right now. But my biggest question mark was, is she going to be okay? Because she did not see this coming. And she goes, I'm okay. I just got to move forward. But it's very hurtful. And so I just thought, I don't know, maybe you guys could shed some light on how everything means nothing so quickly. Did he know he was doing this? Could he not control it? And I say that because it has to start somewhere in our lives. And I will say this, every person involved that knew him better than I said, yes, it's always been kind of that way. I was going to say,
this isn't the first time. This is who he is.
Exactly.
He's done this before. He has nothing in it. It sounds like his life is just crumbling, and it always is. Probably because of him, because he makes irresponsible decisions, choices all the time. He's not emotionally intelligent, and that's not an insult. I think all of us work on that. I do for sure. I have to work on that because we weren't taught how to regulate our emotions because of the trauma.
There you go. self-sabotage.
Big
It
time.
led to self-sabotage.
Big time.
Have you ever dealt with that? Have you ever been a victim of your own self-sabotage? Either one of you? D. Grant, you're shaking your head. Jamie's searching.
Not like that. Not in such large.
Yeah, not to that extreme, no. But I mean, it's a I think all of us have self-sabotaged ourselves at some point or another by saying things in the moment that we don't mean because we're reacting and there's we're feeling highly sensitive, or that for me feeling highly sensitive, or
attacked maybe. Do you think he felt attacked?
Yeah, but not. That was just a reason. He chose a reason with the person who he's been in a relationship with a long time to do that with. And you had never seen him do this.
No.
So his pattern to me, my fucking family's like this. This is why I don't have anything to do with them, because they're ignorant and
that's what it made me think of too, family.
And yeah, I think he just does this. And since you two were new, he just does this with people, and it's a pattern for him, and he thinks he's going to be forgiven. Oh, no, that is a liability, Lucy. And I want nothing to do with it.
Come on.
People like that. Yeah. I can't deal with people like that. I won't deal with people like that.
So I'm reminded of somebody that I used to work with about 10 years ago, that when I first started working with him, he seemed like the nicest guy in the world, super encouraging, incredibly well, he was just like, every time we'd get together, he'd be like, dude, you do such great work and you're so awesome. Mm-hmm. And he had this like joyful kind of cheerfulness to him. And then when we started working together, suddenly it kind of shifted, and he was incredibly meticulous about like every single little detail. And he wasn't my actual boss. He was the guy that was above me technically, but I didn't really consider him somebody that I answered to. He put himself in that position. And so then he comes in and he starts telling me like, well, you need to do it like this. You need to do this. You need to be, and then he was like trying to get me to do things that like were not a part of my job description. And I was like, when Chuck tells me that, man, I'll do it. But like, that's not something I really feel comfortable doing. And he's like, and he got really intense and like really, and we had like a fight one day, not like a fist fight, but like and I was like, what the hell is this? Yeah, I caught myself.
And almost cussed.
Well, I don't know if I can say 4-letter words here. Like,
do you see the name on the screen beneath you? Clearly, cussing is allowed.
Okay. Well, I was like, what the fuck is this all about?
Right.
And I cuss like a sailor. Anytime I'm on a show, like I don't know. Anyhow, fortunately, both of our boss, his name was Chuck. He didn't take sides between either one of us. He just was like, we're gonna work through this. We're gonna work on stuff together. But like, you're not right and you're not wrong, and he's not right and he's not wrong. We're gonna move forward together as a team. It was one of the most beautiful experiences of like genuine leadership that I've ever seen. And I'm thankful for that experience. But when you're describing this, I'm like, that had been inside this guy that I was working with. That had been in him the entire time, because I would hear him tell me stories about people that like went off on him, or he was telling somebody that they were, that he knew all these things and they didn't know anything. And I'm like, well, it makes sense why this girl doesn't want to go on another date with you, man, because you're just spending the entire time telling her how her life is wrong, and you got all the answers. But so to me, that's what it sounds like here. Like, only this is like an Incredible Hulk exponentially massive, more version. I think he's frozen again, Jamie.
I need to do a print screen. That is hilarious.
Let me grab it.
I just did a PR SCR. That is hilarious. Look at his face.
I got it. I'll text it to you, Lauren, when you come back. There we go.
I'm back.
Got another screen capture for you. Oh, here we go.
He looks higher than me.
I texted him a screen capture from maybe 2 shows ago.
Yeah.
That's for his coffee table book. If I still have it, I'll share it with you, Jamie. It's pretty priceless.
It is. I might have made my own cover. So, the aftermath of when we self-sabotage and tear things down, you go to sleep and you think, okay, well, there was a war today, but then you wake up to the sunlight and you look outside, you open the door, and there's all the rubble. the rubble.
Yep.
Have you ever opened up the door the next day after anything, a breakup, quitting a job, or that's what I used to be bad at. They pissed me off, and I wouldn't think about, well, you don't want to be late on your rent or your car payment or whatever the case may be. And I wouldn't even consider those things in the moment. I was reactive, like you said, D. Grant, and I hadn't learned yet how to respond, thinking before responding. And that led me all the way back to the core issue of grounding. And my reel this morning was about self-development. And that's why, I can reach. It was over there yesterday, but I didn't clean up. I just moved some stuff around and moved it over there. But I know myself well enough to keep those things that can talk me off the ledge before I even get to the ledge. Where before I found myself on it all the time. And then I had to say, well, how do I make sure I don't get all the way over to the ledge? I might come up on the roof, but I'm going to stay over by the staircase. I'm not going to go to the ledge. And so I had to put something at the top of the stairs to step on. I have to get over it or step over it to get to the ledge. Mm-hmm. So have you put anything ever in your process to keep you from sabotaging your own hard work, your own dreams? Anybody? And if so, what kind of things do you utilize?
For me, I physically write it down. It's how I did my mantras. And it seems so simple, and it is. I think because it's so simple, people don't understand the impact. So I wrote it down because I couldn't even say the words, which is really weird in itself. To me, that's strange that our minds won't even allow us to say some words. So I wrote it down, and I just carried it around in my pocket, and I would take it out of my pocket and read it and put it back and read it and say it and read it. And then finally I was able to read it aloud. And then I was able to read it aloud in the mirror. And then I was able to say it on my own out loud and in the mirror and, those things. So that's how I adopted my mantras as part of my life, as part of my lifestyle, is something I have to do. Even at night, I have a nightly routine, nightly mantras, and that I have to do. And it really helps. So I would say adopt your own set of mantras, your own set of systems into your life. You need systems in your life, operations in your life, the same way you do a business. Your life is a business, and you need to start treating it that way and put operating systems in line. So that's what I do. That's what I've done. And that's what I tell people to do.
Good one. What about you, D. Grant?
Well, the thing that pops up for me, and I think it goes both ways. Whether I am the cause of something that caused somebody else pain or emotional, I've never gone off on anybody like that in a professional setting. I've wanted to, but growing up in the South, like there's, you got to keep your shit.
Were you raised to not do that, or was it just innately within you?
I think it was a combination of the two. It was a combination. Part of it is like you don't speak from like a challenging point to somebody in authority. That was a big part of like the culture that I grew up in, and so it became something that like I let people speak very harshly to me for a long time because I didn't. My subconscious belief was that like I couldn't really defend myself or stand up for myself or whatever, because I would be that kind of like the thing about me not cussing here on the show. Like that would be rude. That would be, so there's some deep stuff in me. But the thing that comes to mind for me that I continue to do, especially, and I've been doing this to myself while you've been sharing about this whole situation, is Ho'oponopono. Are you familiar with that?
Don't make him play.
Okay, sorry.
Go, D. Grant. Stay focused, Lauren.
So Ho'oponopono, as you guys know, like that's recognizing that there's something inside of me that is being reflected in an experience that I'm having. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a like literal translation of like, you know, copy and paste, but there's something in that energy that exists within me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to have the awareness or the experience of it. And so, like, you know, as you were describing this scenario, Lauren, I was just doing Ho'oponopono within myself, because to me, that means that there's something inside of me that I might not be aware of, or I'm not aware of, that could be, you know, something easily triggered that would cause me to do something along those lines. Or maybe it has nothing to do with that at all. Maybe it has something to do with something on a much, much deeper level. But like, I want to clear that out of me. And I, you know, by proxy, the divine, you know, cleaning that out of not only the person that, you know, did this thing that caused so much pain, but for all of you guys, because you are so experienced, you are so, whatever the word is, it caused an experience in your life, Lauren, that like you're talking about it now here in this place. And so
it evoked. Are you trying to say evoked or something?
Maybe the word has left me. You and I are both word people. So, but to me, that's what comes to my mind. Like, yes, mantras, I do the same thing, or similar to what Jamie does, but like cleaning my deeper consciousness out of whatever that energy is, and bringing that healing in.
Very important, because that was.
All right, he disappeared, and now we're watching Dominique's experience. So that's fun.
Know. Is she entering? Why is this?
You guys
understand.
Well, now we're on tour in Greece. This is fun.
Isn't that beautiful?
I aim to serve. I aim to please.
Look at that.
Thank you, Dominique.
Architecture and shit, and the statues. Wow, look at those columns.
I know it. I'm back. We're getting a tour at the same time. Thank you, Travelog Dominique Rivera, the Oracle of Apollo.
Beautiful.
But what I was saying was, you're right, D. Grant, because I sitting here thinking about it, especially with that analogy about the opening the door and seeing the rubble, the aftermath. I would just slam it shut. I wouldn't even go out there and try to see if anything was salvageable or anything. And that meant I would go back to my bed, get back under the covers, and start crying. Why does this always happen? Accountability. Exactly. You know, and then therein began the process of depression.
Yep.
And then the depression would lead to, I don't want to live anymore, so quickly. And so if anyone out there, if you're, you know, if this sounds familiar, or you're dealing with something, and, you know, I think one of the main things is to feel okay, like with D. Grant, giving yourself permission to speak the hard things, to speak what you feel is unspeakable. Because when we get it out, I'd rather something be destroyed because I spoke what I was really feeling, instead of what I regret saying.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's that. Is that David? Is that statue? What is that?
No, David's got a head.
Oh.
Oh, but
right as she went in on the crotch. Okay, well, that was divine timing.
Thank you for that, Dominique. You
yes, David,
perfect timing.
And how would we know that, D. Grant? So, wow, look at all this stuff. So clearly, Dominique is at the temple. Wow.
Yes, I've made it here. The main temple's down that way, but I wanted to show you guys some pretty artifacts before I walk that way.
How old is that place?
420 BC.
420.
So are those statues real?
Light up for that, Jamie.
Are those real, Dominique?
These are. You're not supposed to touch them.
They're real.
Yes, these are real.
They were made on the date that's on it.
Yes, sir.
How can they just be sitting out there then?
Well, they're covered by
They don't have vandalists in Greece.
Well, I just meant just the elements and whatnot.
Isn't it beautiful?
They probably got like a Grease ninja squad that's like watching at night to make sure that nobody comes and fucks anything up.
Well, this place is surrounded by lots of what's that called? Fences.
420 before cannabis.
Hey, Dominique, have you learned anything about why they were so into statues? Why didn't they paint pictures, wouldn't it have been a lot easier to capture the
They,
likeness?
yes, but there's no longevity in that. This was about being eternal.
Makes sense. And clearly it worked. It's still here.
Exactly.
So how do you feel being right there? I imagine they say don't touch, right? Like you say.
Yeah, don't touch.
I would.
The moment I got off the plane, I never knew that your body could be speechless. I knew your mind could be speechless. I knew your words could be speechless. I never knew that your body could be speechless.
What do you mean by that?
It was like an all-encompassing silence. Like an all-encompassing silence where nothing but emptiness moved through you. There was no thought, there was no emotion. It was like the utter shock of a moment is the best way to describe it. My body was speechless upon coming off the plane to get here.
Wow.
Even though it was pitch black outside and all I could see was the silhouettes of the mountains.
So you go to a lot of your travels, you go by yourself.
I do.
Why do you do that? What is it? What is it? So you're not, do you consider yourself on vacation?
No, I never consider any of these vacation. I consider them work 100%, because I know every time I come on these journeys. Yesterday, I found a man with a broken arm. I bought this bracelet from him, and I sat there for 25 minutes doing energy work on his arm after I brought his bracelet. And I told him and described to him exactly how he broke his arm. And last night I was sitting in the park, even though I was going to go to the hostel, and I was told, go to the park. I went to the park, and then they said, wait. So I waited maybe 10 minutes, and this man approached me, and we had to talk about Islam and the Quran till about 4 a.m. And how society is turning westernized and how we have to learn to let go. And so his whole entire mindset from being Palestine shifted last night. So no, I don't think these are vacation. I always go by myself because I'm approachable. When you're in a group, strangers don't approach you when you're in a group.
True.
So I come by myself. And plus, then you have to wait for other people. People don't want to do what you do. And people who go to other places in the world, they see it as a vacation. So they want to drink. They want to do the tourist thing. And that's not what I'm here for.
Okay. Okay. So do you do a vlog, or do you journal the things at the end of the day? How do you hold on to all of these different? They don't seem like so many in the one particular day, but after a few weeks on the road, how do you keep them straight?
I put them in a journal, and as a vlog, I started thinking about Trajectory Magazine as part of this for the next few months. Learning what I'm learning as I'm learning it.
Makes sense. You got anything to say about ego?
Yes, so much, especially last night. What I explained was when we're in places like this where we don't know anybody, it's real quick to try to figure out culture and then actually it. So I would like to impart to the collective is look at all the people the same way you look at clouds in the sky, the same way you look at fish in the water, the same way you watch the birds pecking at the land, and that's it. So much appreciation. Your own existence is validated as just being a natural cycle of life if you just let go of the story of who or what or where or how. Everybody wants the same thing as you, and that's just to be happy, healthy, and prosperous.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Look, well, thank you for the tour. You look great. It looks great. And I want to say to the other experts on the screen, D. Grant Smith and Badass Jeremy Lane, excuse me, when we come back next month, D. Grant, why don't you take over for next month and decide what we're going to talk about up in here. I don't think you've ever done that. And while Dominique, will you be accessible? Let's
Next
say
month?
I'm looking.
When?
Well, whenever we decide for mid-August.
I probably will be traveling back to Pennsylvania the week of the 14th.
That's the week. Well, Maybe we'll do it a week after to make sure you're all caught up from the jet lag and whatnot.
I will be home.
Okay. All right. D Grant, you okay with taking the lead next month?
Totally. Thank you.
All right. And then after that, Jamie, we'll throw the ball in your court for the next month. Any closing thoughts regarding ego? Any suggestions, tips, or
the quicker you let go of imposing your own projections of reality, of the way people should live, let go of your own projections of the shoulds. You can should someone to death. You didn't like it when you grew up and you were should it on.
Should it. Right.
Don't go shooting on other people.
Quit shitting all over the place.
You know, here's the thing with should. Should doesn't even exist. Should doesn't exist. You can't say I should have done that. Should have done what? You had no information the same that you do now. How can you even say it doesn't even exist first? So that it doesn't even exist. But I wanted to say you need to be truthful with yourself.
I agree.
Stop hiding from yourself. Look, just be truthful with yourself. If you don't like doing something, you don't want to do something, don't fucking do it. You don't know anybody, any explanation. If you want to say fuck on the air, then say fuck on the air. And if somebody doesn't want you on air for being who you are, then fuck them. Okay? Just be truthful with yourself, because when you're truthful with yourself, nothing is going to bother you. I mean, things are going to bother you, but you're able to put things in perspective and realize, you know what? That's not for me. Thanks, yo. See you later.
Right.
You know? And then you're able to move on. But when you act like that, you're not being truthful with yourself. You're so disconnected from yourself. So be truthful with yourself and face it. Hold yourself accountable.
Bye, Dominique.
Bye, Dominique.
She's trying to say that phone. D Grant, final thought?
I'm just receiving what Jamie said and what Dominique said. And thank you guys.
Good enough. To thine own self be true. Shakespeare said it best. And so take that with you today, you guys. And thank you so much for coming in and sharing your day with us. We'll see you for another Meet the Experts episode next month, mid-month. Watch your calendars. Watch the page. And in the meantime, get out and be the very best you can be. We are grateful for this opportunity to learn and to grow together. So as always, I'll meet you tomorrow morning, God willing, over there on the front porch at 8 a.m. Central, where together we will have yet another illuminated conversation. And it's always in closing, I love to tell you, and I mean it. I love you. And guess what?
Not a damn thing you can do about it.
Not a damn thing. You guys get out of here. Have a great one. Thank you so much. Great job, you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye now.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you.